Hello, it's Tuesday the 8th of February 2022. It's been a little bit of time. What's just finished here is scarfing together both the port and starboard side panels. They've rested for about a week. Temperature's kind of cold here. The garage is roughly about 50 degrees, 49, 50 degrees Fahrenheit, about 10 Celsius. The epoxy I'm working with claims to work down to 35 Fahrenheit, 2 degrees Celsius, but I'd like to keep a little buffer in there. The panels appear to be holding well, the one that I've taken up so far, and I have the other one here. In a moment I can take the camera and walk through how I worked on aligning them and putting them all together. The first panel, as I trip over things, the first panel, which is over here, I managed to epoxy to the 4x4 support that I had it on. I'd placed down some wax paper, but while getting things aligned, I'd apparently made a hole in the wax paper, and so the epoxy worked right through that and bonded it. That led to buying one of these little oscillating tools. I tried a chisel and a hacksaw to separate them, and that was not the right solution. It was a very strong bond, but the oscillating tool turned out to be the right tool to free it. So what I'll be working on later this afternoon or this evening is just putting down some thickened epoxy to kind of fill the gaps where I had to separate those two, and it's a bit low. But the joint itself seems to be very solid, and it's held up well, and had over a week to set up. So that's the next objectives are kind of depanel removing this from the jig here, and checking it, and then filling in the gaps where I had to remove the support post from one side panel. Other things, smaller things have gone on in the interim. I got a hatch to use in the forward bulkhead. I forget the dimensions. If this video ever makes it public, I'll probably just link this product in below. But it's a nice hatch, pretty good seal it looks like, good activation, and fits within the outline suggested in the original plan. Gives me a little bit of decent, not quite a knife edge, but close for plastic. But should give a decent seal onto the forward compartment to keep water out or in as appropriate. And so I'll be working not tonight, but to get that installed there, or at least cut out there. And so that's all for now. I'll switch to just a quick walkthrough of this fixture. So this is looking at the way I'd aligned everything to glue it up. Some of this has moved since the actual glue up, unfortunately, but you can see the general idea. I used some of this 90-degree angle. It's a 6-foot piece of metal there, as well as I think it's a 4-foot level that's a little wider, just to do the clamp up. The blocks are drilled in along the baseline here, and then clamped to align it this way. And then these are not in the correct position anymore, but use this 1.85 meter piece of straight scrap that I had to measure the distance between the I guess between perpendiculars effectively, just to make sure that that end of this was correct, and use some clamping to ensure that was in place. Wax paper on the top, and actually used peel ply this time around on the bottom to make sure that it didn't bleed through the wax paper that failed last time and bond to the support beam, and it thankfully has not. Beyond the length of this 6-foot piece of angle, not iron but metal here, just used plumb string and took that out to screws and sighted along that. Had to make sure it didn't get caught up in the clamps, of course, but that worked pretty well, and they seem to be, the shape seems to be pretty well taken. So it really comes down to, I have some work to do to clean up and fair out the exterior parts of the joint, but looking fairly good. That's all for this.